Wow, you can hear all those birds. Hi, today we will be covering spreadsheets again. However, we'll be going much more in depth than before. Everything that you learned in the past few classes, you'll be able to use this time around. But now we'll be going much deeper. We'll start exploring formulae, or formulas, and how to use them in spreadsheets. Formula is any number of mathematical operations that you can put together to get the results that you need. If you wanted to figure out the average height of 20 people in your class and you measured them all out and you entered those heights into the spreadsheet, it could easily figure out averages. It can do a ton more than that too. So let's cover some of the basics. First, we click the cell and enter an equal sign. Now the equal sign tells the spreadsheet program that you're going to enter a formula. Instead of showing the equal sign and whatever comes after that, it actually runs the mathematical operations that you punch in here and then shows you the results of those operations. So if you wanted to add two cells together and show those results, you would click on a cell like right here. You would put in an equal sign, like I said. Then click on the first cell that you want to add, and then click on the second cell that you want to add, and then hit enter. You'll see that it added those two cells together. If I change the value in any one of those cells, like this, you will get a totally different number as a result. Let's change the second value over here. You'll see the number is different. So the plus sign means addition. There's another term for addition in a spreadsheet program, and it's sum. The way the sum works is like this. You enter an equal sign, you type in sum, and then open up a parentheses. Then you click and hold the mouse down and drag it down all the cells that you want to add together. You release and then close your parentheses. Now it'll add up or sum up all of those cells. Subtraction is pretty basic. Minus sign equals subtraction. Multiplication is represented by an asterisk. That's over the number 8. That's that little star. That means multiplication. So if you want to multiply two cells together, you put in an equal sign, click on the first cell, then put in an asterisk, and then click on the second cell, and there, voila, you have the result of those two numbers multiplied together. Division is a slash, and it works just like multiplication. You click on the first, you put in an equal sign first, then you click on the first cell, then put in a slash, and then click on the second cell. And the way that works is like this. The first number that is entered is the number on top. The second number is the one on the bottom of a fraction. So for example, 1/2 is simply 1 divided by 2. So I'm going to show you how that works over here. And you'll see 0.5 or 1/2 is the answer. Averaging. Averaging works just like the sum. You put in an equal sign. You type in average. Open up a parentheses. And then you click and hold and drag down the cells that you want to average together. Then you close the parentheses, and you've got your average. Very basic stuff. Now let's handle parentheses. You can control the order of operations in a formula by putting them into parentheses. Normally, the order of operations in mathematics and anything technical is exponents and roots get done first, then multiplication and division happen second, and addition and subtraction happen last. But let's say you wanted to add or subtract before multiplying, which can happen a lot in formulas. You'd want to put the addition or subtraction into parentheses. I'm going to show you right here. I'm going to put in these numbers here, or these cells. I'm going to add these cells together first. And then I want to multiply those two cells added together with a third cell. And then I want to multiply the result of all that math by a fourth cell. you'll see that there are two sets of parentheses now. You've got the inside parentheses that happen first, then the parentheses here on the outside, those happen second. Of course, everything outside the parentheses go by the normal order of operations. That's exponents, roots, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. So we're going to run through some exercises right now. Over here I've got a column called magic numbers, and another column called multipliers, and a third column called answer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the magic number here on this row and multiply it with a multiplier on the same row. And I'm going to enter that formula into the answers column. So I'm going to put an equal sign, and then this cell times that cell. And hit enter, and you've got the results. Now I could do that for each of the rows down below, but that would get a little tedious. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the cell here in the answers column and copy it. Go to the next row down and then paste it in there. Now it's not taking the same cells and multiplying them together. What it's doing is it's taking the relative locations. See, this cell is relative to that cell, is relative to that cell. So it's taking them from the same relative location, just one row down. So it's multiplying these two numbers together. And if I paste again, it's going to do the same relative multiplication. So relative to the position of where I put in that formula, it's going to multiply those two numbers together. And again, and again, and again, and again, and again. And then we can also use a sum here to show the total number from the magic numbers column. That's really easy. That's equal sign sum. And then I click and drag, and then close the parentheses, and there I've got my answer. Figuring out the square roots, easy. There's a formula for that. It's right there. So to figure out the square roots, I would use that equal sign again. A different command here, this one right here. Parentheses, and then I throw in the cell that I want to get the square root from. Right in there. Close it up. I get an answer. Of course, 2 is the square root of 4, 3 is the square root of 9, and 8 is the square root of 64. Ordering your formulas. So this is what you're going to be doing in your exercises. So pay special attention. We're going to be handling some data here. I've got a worm count, and for each of those worms that I counted, I'm going by weight here. 10 grams. I've got 59 worms at 10 grams and a length of 5.5 centimeters. I'm figuring out here how much these worms are by grams per centimeter. So I'm taking the total weight and dividing it by the length. So that's, you see the slash there in the column that I described the grams per centimeter. I'm actually using that same sort of notation down here, except it looks a little different. I'm using the cells instead of G and cm. So, okay. What I want you guys to do is you're going to have to work out the worm's average weight, all the worm's average length, and on average, what the grams per centimeter for all the worms are. To understand what we're going to do, I'm going to simplify this problem a little bit for you. And then when it comes to the exercise, you will hopefully be able to apply that same sort of thinking to the exercise that you're going to be getting after this lecture. Over here, I've got 50 doohickeys with a value of 1. And then over here, I've got 50 doohickeys with a value of 2. Now what I want to do is find the average value for all the doohickeys that I have in my set here. So actually I have 100 doohickeys. So I have to figure out a formula to work out an average for all of the doohickeys. So this isn't as complicated as it seems. So to create this formula, I'll have to enter an equal sign first. And then I'm going to take the total number of doohickeys with value 1. And I'm going to do that by taking this cell right here, the number of doohickeys, and multiplying it by its value. And I'm going to add that to the number of doohickeys here that are multiplied to their value. So overall, I've got a total of 100 doohickeys. Now, I could take this and divide it by 100 and I'd get an average. But I want to stay more flexible than that. So what I'm going to do is put in a slash here for division and use the sum command. I'm going to say divide by, basically with this slash here, the sum of all these numbers here. And you'll see that I come up with an average. So in the exercise that you'll be getting, you're going to have to work out the average worm weight for all the worms, average worm length for all the worms, and the average worm gram per centimeter weight. So give that a try. If you have any questions, talk to your teacher, or again, talk to your classmates. They should be able to help you out. If you don't understand it, I'm certain somebody will. And that should do it. Have fun. The exercises are on the servers, and save your work with your name back onto the server. Thank you.